Happy Thursday, brother. Look at me lost in the day. How are you?
Hey, I'm feeling wonderful. Great to be back here underneath the brilliant name of Grandma Rose and continue to do this old tour.
Yes, it is. It's wonderful to see you. For those who are joining for the first time, my name is Syretta. I'm the second half of this sibling parent. I'm joined by my exceptionally gifted brother who meets me in the Rose Garden every Thursday at 2 o'clock, usually Thursdays at 2 o'clock, to just debrief, download, and to have a safe space to have open dialogue and discussion. And boy, last week, brother, we retched in the group chat to get our conversation starter. And then when I went back to my group chat, oh, folks had watched our show and they had some feedback and commentary. So I think we're going to touch on some of that today. We were supposed to have a guest, but unfortunately, our guest had a death in the family. So I do want to send greetings to our guest and let her know that we're sending condolences with the family
Yeah,
and
condolences to her family and to
yeah,
her as well for the
to
pain of
her.
that loss.
Yeah, it's been a lot of death in 2025.
Yeah, it has been a tragic and unexpected, right?
Yeah, it's just been really I think again, this is a part of the developmental course that we don't think about, that we're going to lose people that we know.
Mhm.
And that people are going to be experiencing losses and how we deal with loss and address it. The person that our guest lost was like a mother to her, and so there's
Oh
a
wow, that's crazy.
yeah, it's a deep chasm, and it was unexpected. So, um,
Mhm.
I'm, my heart goes out to her and her family, and I recognize that coming on the show to blab with us wasn't the thing to do.
No, no, I think it was a good time. It was a great call to to postpone that to another later date where she's emotionally and mentally in a place where she can focus on some other things. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
because we be pushing you in the rose garden, and today I hope we get to push each other. So let me tell you something. I went back to my group chat, and like I said from last week, and folks did not like being compared to Buicks. I tell you, and they had some choice words to share, and some wonderful commentary came up. One thing is, as a reflection, as a point of reflection, just to go back to something, is the idea of these vintage models. And
Mm.
in the discussion, they shared that men have this way of wanting women to earn their respect and dignity when they don't do the same thing for women. It seems like their expectations is that you come here and as at baseline, you are expected to treat me as the king of this castle. But yet the flip side of that is we had to earn our due. And I thought that was something important to share in the Rose Garden because that's a different way of reflecting on how you characterized the body count last week. Um,
Well, let's say this, and let me start with that exercise where we ended off at when you was asking me what the color of forgiveness was. I like to believe that my color of forgiveness for you, boo, is white as this shirt, because I like to give a clean slate, you know what I mean? And there's been many times that I've offered a clean slate, but the other side didn't really take it due to fear, doubt, disbelief of what may be, but I definitely have always centered and oriented in that place. But it so to answer the question on that from
Oh, I
the
love
last
the
so
question. I
it's
love
cool.
it. And I like that because that wasn't a part of our color spectrum, but I think I'm going to borrow it and take it back to the next time we're together.
Yeah.
And I guess are you sharing your white cloth in my group chat?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I would say this that where the group chat is talking about, right? you know, honestly, it's crazy because any like I told you before, whenever somebody gets any sort of feedback that is intended to be constructive, but it feels adverse, the person automatically gets defensive. I don't care how conscious minded the individual is. I was thinking about how Pontius Pilate was being questioned by Jesus, right?
Uh,
And I think Pontius Pilate was really trying to help Jesus out, but Jesus wasn't giving him any juice to to work on. So it's one of the things that Pontius Pilate said was like, man, uh, they saying that you the king of the Jews, and he said, well, well, it is what you say, you
Mhm.
know. So he wasn't refuting it. He wasn't,
So that's your
endorsing it.
approach. You
So what
just
I'm trying to say is, in this beef between, there's definitely a real beef between men and women, right? Period, right? Between the genders, there's always a battle, and it's kind of like a battle between, uh, you know, control and dominance and all this. So one side say something, the other side say something against it or whatever. So we in ops with each other,
all the time,
right?
and we about
Right,
to be
all the time.
because I got some questions.
All right, go ahead. Let's hit it. Let's hit the
So
question.
I
Yeah.
love the fact that you have reflected because what else I pulled out of the group chat was, again, as you all want all these women with virtues, they brought up the fact that, here these men go where they want all these virtuous things, but women have to tolerate many of things, their habits, their families, and their size.
Hey, see, that's literally hitting below the belt. You know what I'm saying? That's too low, bro. You know
That's
what I'm saying? But
that's
okay.
low.
Since they want to hit below the belt, let's unpack what they saying,
Let's
right? So first of all, first off, this is the thing, right? It's about accountability. You know, so I feel like again, like women ain't trying to accept accountability
no,
because
no,
they
okay,
body.
but listen,
I don't know, but hear it out. But body count is directly something you got to be accountable for. Both men and women got to be accountable for body count, right?
well, we're
But
talking
women ain't trying to be but,
tolerate.
but women ain't trying to be accountable for that because they trying to get you to accept a dirty plate. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you know, this is a clean plate. A restaurant bring you a dirty plate, and they want to be like, on the standard of cleanliness, this is okay. Don't worry about these little speckles that's on the dirty plate. But to the point of the size thing, right?
Because I
You
think
know,
that's a good point. That's a good
yeah,
point. So, there's so much, and you said it last week about double standards, and there are double standards. Well, there are things that women tolerate that aren't quantifiable necessarily in these kind of basic black and white terms. And I will say size is one of them, where they so if women treated men in the same kind of way that men treated women, and they said, well, the dude with the small size, I ain't gonna never see that dude again. And then I'm gonna,
but
give
they do that though. They do. See, this is the thing. This the thing. This the thing, right? Like I feel like the to grab at that is really digging low because it's if whatever a man's size is ain't something that the man can effectively change. It's just whatever the form
now they
factor he
have
was pointing to.
mechanics. I disagree. I got to cut you off because I know for a fact that there's some men who are part of their self-care routines use these enlarging
well,
tools.
but if they doing that, that's the same thing as a woman being like, say, a dude saying, I ain't messing with a woman that got small breasts.
I
So
think
now she got to augment her breasts, and then but those things like enhancers to the natural. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, the size enhancers and stuff. But what I'm trying to say is, truly speaking, like right now, if I wanted to mess with a girl and she says I only date white guys, well, I'm disqualified. You know what I'm saying? No matter what I say, but no matter what I say or do, I ain't never gonna be white. So whatever. She mess with only white guys. I'm disqualified.
okay, now how would
Yeah.
that make you feel?
Well, if I really liked her, it wouldn't make me feel too good. It might make me want to wish that, hey, I wish I was white, so I'd have been qualified for this or whatever. But I mean, but the reality is I ain't that. You know what I'm
But it
saying? So
objectifies, I think, to the
mhm,
point that the women were making in the group chat, is
mhm.
it objectifies relationships and romanticism in ways that are actually hard to meet. The standards that you are ascribing to are hard to meet. Again, we are not talking to children. We're talking to middle-aged people,
but
all of
but
your friends included. So to have
but
this fallacy that there are going to be women who are
uh-huh.
touched and as matching the color of your forgiveness, okay, in
Yeah.
this very pure kind of context and is it's unreasonable and unfair. So since you picked the game, let's be
Uh-huh.
fair. So since if that's the case, then what women can react with, I'm about to give all y'all broads permission, is once you are introduced to the small, medium, and large, you discriminate and you get to add value to that person and say
But
things
see that, but that don't got nothing to do because I think that if you're gonna do it on those type of terms, right? Because I
like,
think like what might be more of a realistic term is that because true pretty much the way that men are looking at it is again we measuring a virtue, right? So they doing something very basic to level out virtue, some sort of evaluation assessment of virtue, which is
mhm.
body count, which a woman completely could be accountable for. And yeah, once she done ticked up her body count, she can't change it, right? You know what I mean?
And
It ain't like,
men,
you
that's
know,
the problem. And you have
but
said that there's a double standard, that
it's
no
a double
matter what,
standard.
the double standard matches. And you've also in the group chat said, by the virtue of that assumption, you have said women are more attracted to the man who has a ticked up body count.
100 because no woman gonna be pleased with being like most women want to have the man that
Uh-oh, I lost your Oh, look, look, what you was talking was so terrible that you couldn't even
hey,
say.
sorry about that. The damn phone wanted the people want to interrupt me. All right, but I was gonna say
No,
most
that was
women want.
God. Look at grandma interrupting you. Said, don't you say that.
God was about to say that most women want the man that's experienced in this way so that they got some sort of uh first of all it's prideful for them because a lot of other women have wanted that man. Then another thing is
So wait a
they
minute. Let me go
yeah
along this thought train. You believe
yeah
that women have some prideful experience, some boastful experience around dating the man that other women want.
yeah because I think what happens with a man because I think men again it's a double standard, right? But I feel like this what happens in terms of evaluation criteria with women and men. And y'all tell me if I'm wrong, but generally speaking, right, in a group of men, when you get the men together and they excited about a new woman he got, he talking about something about this woman, virtuous about her independently, that's special. When women are asking, they group women together and they talk about the man he got, they talk about stuff that don't matter. His job, his money, his assets, what he got. Nothing about his character. He's a loyal dude. He's dedicated. He's honorable. He's this and that. They don't usually do that, you
They
know.
do do
So,
that
but,
though.
but men do. The
I,
men do.
I
The
will
men
argue.
do.
I
Mhm,
think men are sitting in rooms with men and women are
mhm.
sitting in rooms with women.
True.
You don't hear what women say. And I'm hitting the BS button on that because let's use the Kardashians. Them girls been used. They're more than used Buicks. Okay.
Yeah, they are. But they vintage. They more on the vintage criteria,
Now,
right? So I would they
I
more
repeat
vintage.
that in the name of Jesus. I am
Well,
speaking my
I'll
face.
tell you like
There's
a
nothing
couple
vintage
vintage
about them.
choices.
Nothing vintage.
Kardashian chicks are vintage. Uh, J Lo vintage.
Why? Okay.
Madonna vintage
Why?
for real.
What makes them
Because they
vintage?
got some kind of value, yo. Like it's they got like a perceived value that they special. So they offer the
Not
which we
they're
talk about in general.
not.
In
They're
order
basic.
to be in order to be vintage,
What do they bring? What do in all of the males' lives that they have touched?
yeah.
And,
So on a natural
what
on the
is it that
dudes,
they have done that's so special?
all right. So for a dude whose social standing is above theirs, they ain't vintage. You know what I'm saying? So remember we was talking about if you got it out the dirt and you made something, you ain't going back, you ain't going to the junkyard to buy no whip, right?
Even these
So,
vintage
but
women
but
probably did
if a
not
dude
call
is a dude at
them.
another level ain't messing with them. You know what I'm saying? So the dude, whoever, all the dudes above their level ain't messing
Aren't
with
looking
them.
at them.
But
Correct.
100%, every dude below their level will dance with them
Well, what
for
though?
sure. You know what I
Why?
mean? And then also, let me just say this in terms of what it matters, right? Because I would say this like a dude may mess with him and may not wife him up neither. You know what
But
I'm
this is
saying?
why your argument is full of caca, and you're buying
I
more
know it's
into
true.
it is
It's
you're
true.
buying more into the fact that these people have high mileage, bring low value to a situation. Like, what is it that they bring? You know, literally, why we know at least one of the Kardashians is because we all saw her get pissed on and have
No,
sex.
she did. You wrong on the pistol on thing. We all
Whatever.
saw her get. We all seen her get. We gotta be correct on this. She had sex with somebody, Ray J, which was which was basically lame old sex. It looked like, but she didn't get pissed on on
And
that.
and
But
okay, fine, she didn't get pissed on, but she got
yeah,
had sex with. I may be wrong about that. A lot of
right,
people
right.
get pissed on and have
But
sex.
she
I can't.
capitalized. She took a
Yeah,
bad
but you know what?
situation
You know
and
why she
capitalized on it. You
you
know what
wanna
I mean?
know why? That wasn't a bad situation because what men did
Right.
is they fantasized, they created a fantasy. And so what
No, no, no. They tried to tank her because when all right, so at that moment in time,
oh Lord have mercy.
if you take that piece of her in that moment in time, that release of that tape was meant to diminish her.
It
And
was
truthfully,
I didn't know who she was.
and
Did you know
truthfully,
who she was before that?
huh?
Did you
No,
know
I
who
didn't. But the purpose of that thing leaking was to
then
diminish her.
then you created a
And
fantasy,
but
right?
men didn't do that. So what happened was because most men who see that whatever, it wasn't like they was all turned. That's why I say it was lame. Most every dude I know that was like, man, that was whack. Shit was lame, and it was meant to diminish her. But she flipped this, and it was diminishing her because most dudes who saw it wasn't like, man, I don't want her, whatever. But she flipped that script
And how did
because
she
she took. You know why she flipped it? Because in that momentum when a lot of attention was on it, she grabbed that attention and flipped it and used it in a way to benefit herself. So why a dude would look
what
at
she
her as vintage
made
is
herself
because
look like a black woman. She put booty in she enlarged her
she
breast,
did.
she
She
enlarged
definitely.
and
Yes,
then
she did.
you all fantasized about something that you could have. So
No,
now,
no, that's different.
so
That's different.
I'm giving you the analogy of what
Yeah.
women fantasize. Nobody fantasizes about the minimum carat penises. However, women actually are tolerating it. So now what you are doing is saying, I'm going to give women. Thank you for this discussion because now we are saving lives in this room.
Right, right, right.
The many women who are not sexually satisfied because let me tell you something, penises comes in all different sizes.
But see, if you tell them women that to focus to make decisions on the sexual thing,
You should because
what you doing is you giving them black marks on their white board, which is see the bottom line with the situation with women and their body counts, for them being accountable for it. It's not nothing to do with uh they you know because it's nothing to do with the physical form of them because you could be of all sizes and have high value counts or low value count. What it denotes is a quality in their character, and that's the thing that a man's looking at. The penis side don't denote no quality. You could have a little penis and still be community dick. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You can still
okay,
be a playboy dude. And the
okay.
bottom line is whether you got a big one or small. I don't care if it's small as your pinky or as big as the light post outside. The bottom line is he put it in you.
Okay, okay,
You know,
fine.
so like if you some man wife and you stumble and that man just like you the man wife and that man he hung. You know what I'm saying? And you end up cheating on him with a dude that got you know a fingernail tip. You know we could you know we but what my people's call is the you know the video game thing the start button the little start button John. If a dude got a little start button, the dude don't give a damn how big it, he would be like he put it in you,
Okay,
and
fine.
that counts as a
As
notch
God.
in the bedpost.
Okay, so
So
let's
don't
go.
blemish yourself.
Okay, so let's go
Don't
with
waste it. Don't waste it for the start buttons. You know
so
what
listen, so let's go with your analogy, which again, women need to spend time speaking to men and men need to spend time speaking to women because what I know is in their anger about how you
I'm saying?
quantify what it is to be in relationship with women, then in return, they expose that women tolerate a lot sexually that's not appealing. And I think
100%.
that's the point, is that, sex should not just be this quantifiable kind of measurement. It shouldn't be like, well, you got a whole lot of body count, so you don't have value. And I think that's what women want men to recognize, because women tolerate a lot about men in relationships, not just size. Size happened to be the thing that came up in the group chat, and it was quite provocative. But then you hear how unfortunate it is that women are laying down, wasting their body counts. Let's use your analogy, with men that are not satisfying them sexually, which to me is the bigger shame. Is that sex should not just be something that is about control and conquest and let me count these notches on my belt. It should be about this reciprocal romantic exchange. And when we do that, we're all acting responsibly. Don't give the responsibility just to the women, right? Y'all need to be more accountable.
Well, we give it
You
to the
need to be
women because,
accountable.
like, everybody knows that fundamentally the woman has that, makes the decision on the sex part. Everybody knows it. That's
Tell
a
me what
standard.
you mean
So,
about that.
like right now, if a man and a woman meet,
Hmm.
it's already damn given the dude wanted to sample. You know
You
what I mean?
know,
It's already. This again when I say the double standard, it benefits the woman. I don't give a damn if men want to, whatever any
that
man
all
gonna
men.
say. Every man gonna want to sample,
So can I
right?
ask
So
you something?
it's damn given. It's damn given when a man meet a woman, he want to sample.
So let me ask you.
Now, if the woman decides, is this the only exception to that rule is this, and be thankful. We don't live in a society like this. That if a man really he just take it, he just rough it off, right? So
Because
that's the only exception to the rule. Because I would say if we was really living in the primitive world that is the underlying desires that underpin us all,
like the
then
Dothraki,
men would be beating y'all in the head and pulling y'all over and then sampling you and throwing you back like
aren't
you.
you glad we're in a more aren't you glad we're in a more civilized context?
Yes, I
And because
am.
we
I
live
am.
in this civilized context, it
Yeah,
means that we can all govern ourselves in a very
100.
civilized way. Think
Yes.
the times of the Fred Flintstones or the Dothrakis or all of these other people who were very savage like and primitive in their way of responding to sex. We're not. So let's talk to those people,
Okay,
because
let's do that. Let's
our
do that.
reality is sex is something that should be shared and is
Yeah.
reciprocal, and everyone has to be accountable. And I'm going to say this, women, because we are taking in men through the act of sex, we have also are taking in their other partners. And so that means we have to make sure that we are wise about how we are making those decisions. And I think many women do. I think men aren't necessarily honest about that in their
About what?
about all their partners and who, because some men out here sleep with men, women, church, everything else.
Oh, I don't even want to touch on them. But I would just say this though. Like, the thing of it all is this. It's understanding the game you in. You know what I mean? Because like right now, I'm gonna tell you, like, truth be told, it like I could see, I'm gonna use something that Dave Chappelle says, right? Which is very funny where he's saying, I could be a black man and say I feel Chinese. You know what I'm saying? I could walk around saying, but that don't make me Chinese or whatever. So
Okay.
personally, inside, the way I feel is not as, like the way I see myself without being able to be seen in the mirror and all this stuff may not be constrained to like the physical body. You know what I'm saying? But I have to play by the rules of this world. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I like if I feel like, hey, I could fly. I can't really do that unaided, unassisted. You know what I mean? So I gotta get in a plane. I gotta get some kind of apparatus to help me fly. We gotta breathe. We gotta eat all this. We gotta sleep. Sometimes I don't want to sleep, but I have to. You know what
Right.
I mean? So what I'm
Right.
trying to say is we need to know the rules of the game so we can play it well. And the rules of the game for a woman is be virtuous,
Okay.
highly
Lessons.
virtuous. That's the rules of the game. If you mess yourself, if you if you hinder yourself in that area, in that game. It's like doing this. It's like telling a one-legged person to run a speed race. You're
Listen,
gonna be limited in your way
the
to do it.
same message is for men. The reality is that women want their man to be virtuous, and not necessarily based on their past experience, which is what body count takes into account. I could understand if men were obsessed with what the person is currently doing, but y'all are digging back in the dredges of the cupboard to say, who did you sleep with 10 years ago? Why does that matter?
But
But
because I think a man's virtue is based on, other frivolous things. So like let's just say for instance, most men do preserve virtue in a certain kind of way, which is this. And this ain't all men, so I know there's probably some exceptions to this rule. But most men only gonna provide a lifestyle for and take care of that which they truly love. So they might have 100 side chicks, or they might have ran through 500 chicks, but they didn't take care. They didn't provide a house for her.
aren't we
They
lucky?
didn't do. They ain't providing safety and security for
But
her.
have they thought about the
So
consequences?
that's the virtue, because in that you could say, and I think like if you look back at any man, you would be, and some men have been damaged by this. Like the woman that took me for half of my shit. But that will never ever happen again because that level of virtue will never be given to anybody else. That one woman took it. So
Okay.
the thing is, that's how men
So
be.
virtue in this sense can be changed because
But it
I'm
can be because, but this the standard rules of the game of how it has been. Because I do think it's good for us to have conversation to break down stuff.
hmm
Because let's just say, you know, if women could see that in a man, because that's what a man believes, right? Like,
hmm
I didn't give my virtue away because, yeah, I slept with that other chick, but I ain't doing shit for her. You know what I mean? Like
how
I
that's
got this house. I'm like we building a life together. All this, why you caught up on that? I ain't do nothing. Like that was trash or whatever. Now on the other end of this thing, you know what I'm saying? The man wants you to bring a virtue in. That's why every man, a smart woman would do this, right?
tell
A
me
smart
what's
woman would do this. It's like so. But so I think when you got a certain class of man, like like I say, like a alpha male, like in all ways, on all levels, he gonna take his seed and expose them to a certain kind of experience, so that no other man can impress them.
hmm
But if I was the woman of, if I was the child of a man like that, and I met a man who wanted to be with me that I felt like was valuable enough, right, to build this relationship with, I would pretend that I never had these experiences. You know what I'm saying? Because the worst thing in the world for a man to be like, man, I bought you a ring. Well, shit, 10 other dudes bought me a ring and stuff like that. And then value just went down. You know what I mean? Here,
let
let me take you on a trip and we go on vacation.
have you
Oh,
ever
well, I used to do that with all this other dudes. And then the dude's like, forget her. You know what
let,
I mean? So
let me
I would pretend if I was a woman, oh wow, nobody's ever done that for me. And now you
that's the
didn't.
problem.
Yeah.
You are giving women permission to pretend, and we're already doing a lot of pretending. Okay,
That's true.
we're
That's
already doing
very true.
a lot
That's
of
true.
pretending.
You
And,
so right on
and
that.
I
You
think
so right on that.
that's not good advice. So, ladies, you're not listening to this. But what
You
is
so right on that.
here is that you all contextualize it differently because I can guarantee you every woman who's ever been cheated on hasn't been saying, thank God that person kept my house in order and paid my bills while you over there dumping your seed
Some
and
do though, because I think like the older, the
met.
the ones in our grandmother's era,
Grandma was
those the grandma was, but she did. But I'm talking about the most of the women in our grandmother's area. Because when I was a young boy and I would see a couple that was together for 50 years, I would always in the past be like, damn, that woman sacrificed a lot. Like that man must have put her through a rack and shit. And she dealt with, that's what I used to think.
so you like sacrifice.
Now when I see it, I think like that dude is amazing because he put up. He must, because I feel like now I see that the men have been enduring more than what the women has
Oh
been
my God,
doing and
that
what they
is
put
again
up.
living exposure. I can tell you again. I hit the yes button because the endurance that women have to deal with is ridiculous. And let's just talk about infidelity for a moment because you
Hmm.
brought up this
Hmm.
idea, this notion that almost like we should be lucky that the person who has made the promises to the woman. Because here's the thing, I think this is what is upsetting to every partner who's in this situation is you don't give me a choice. If
Hmm.
you want to sow your seed somewhere else, then we may be in a situation where we want to sow our seed everywhere else. So why not give everybody permission in that scenario to say, you know what, I'm about to jack this off. Y'all, for the next couple months or whatever, you go ahead and find that person that you want to jack off with, but we're still going to meet in the middle and pay these house bills and share these goals and raise these kids. Now, if you gave all women, or you being men gave all women that choice, and they chose otherwise, then we are entering into the situation freely. But what happens with cheaters is you enjoy the mysticism, you enjoy the lie. And I think that there's a high behind the lie. And you enjoy having this secret that you're keeping from this woman that now you have made into this pious situation. Well, let me tell you something. There may be some women on that in that scenario that was like, oh, okay, we got hall passes. Well, let me go get Johnny with the long sleeve
well,
because you
well,
don't have the long slong, and I've been waiting for you to let me go.
well. Let me just say, I can't cape for the cheaters because, I can't. I'm not the archetype of the cheating type. well, well, I'll just
But
say this.
you're explaining exactly the mentality.
But what I'm trying to say is, we men function. This us generation of men definitely have been raised where I say mentally wrong, right? Because we all get raised through examples. And truth be told, if you was going to understand the other side, you would see this as being true. Is that most of males' examples, role models,
Hmm.
don't highlight the positive things of a male. Like, say, for instance, you do not have a lot of male role models that have been only with one woman, in love with this woman for, and all this. Most of the getting it men in this world,
Hmm.
even if you watch a TV show or whatever, the lead man in that TV show is sleeping with all the bad chicks on the joint.
Hmm.
But you don't see the thing where the bad chicks coming at him and be like, nah, I'm in love with this woman. That don't happen, right? So what I'm trying to say is,
So it's a
men
problem
grow men
socialization.
grow up wrong, and then we also believe like we're the messed up ones and they the virtuous ones and all this stuff.
Hmm.
But that, even with that, what I'm trying to say is, if a person really looks at, they be grateful for what they have, is what I'm trying to say. Not all this stuff. But I know it's kind of contradictory because it's almost like saying, well, you got a dirty plate, so be grateful for the dirty plate. But what I'm trying to say, if you really look at the natural virtue that a man is bringing,
Hmm.
most of the time, the actual real benefit that you're getting from a man, he ain't giving that to everybody. So
Okay.
for sure, he ain't gonna run around and be like, well, I'm getting all my chicks a house. Yeah, I'm getting all my chicks a car. You know what I'm saying? No, he ain't gonna do that. He gonna be like this. No, the only this special one am I really willing to break down my assets with.
But isn't it
Like like one thing for sure, right? It's funny because in the story that you was telling me about how you met your husband, right? I was
a
wondering this in my mind. It's something
part?
crazy.
Part.
He did not give his meal card. He ain't hand that out to the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? He ain't be like, hey, yeah, all y'all chicks are over here. I got a meal card. Y'all want to eat? Let's eat. But he could have. Like a Playboy nigga might have been like, hey, everybody eat on me. You're down here in the cafeteria tonight at 8. I'm gonna take care of all y'all chicks. No, he
You
put
know
that.
what?
He gave that special privilege to a special someone, and dudes do that naturally.
Okay.
That do that naturally. So
I
so honestly, if you just paid attention to a dude, you could really be like, I know where his heart really is. So this
okay.
is what dudes want back. So when they looking for it back, they looking at it and they saying, well, I'm trying to measure her off the fact because she decides who's having sex with her. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? She
Right.
can't decide how tall she is, how short she is, whatever. She can't decide that, but she can decide who she's going to claim, who going to be able to claim her. So now And her being able to decide this, is there anything that she's preserving, reserving for someone special? You know what I'm saying? Where she says, you know what? I want to be this for a dude, but I ain't trying to do this for everybody.
I
You know what
hear.
I'm saying? So at the end of the day, when this dude unwrapped this package, he know this is his, and
Okay,
especially his. And
that
these girls don't have it. They want you to be like, I got 100, but I got 264,000 miles, and now something wrong with the transmission. And will you buy me? You like, man, I ain't buying no this car because I got to change the engine out, the transmission out. Did you know what else is what else?
okay.
What else in
To
here?
your point, there's a lot of points you made, and one of them there was a lot of points. One of them is that men do not grow up with good social role models
Indeed,
around love and sexuality. I will give you that. So, what is our responsibility then, right now, is to give those good social role models. So
100%.
we can be that. We can do that, and I think,
While women being virtuous and monitoring their body
and
counts
by
and
men,
showing their children and, and their girlfriends on their group chat, the social friends, yes, it matters. Now, if you've already messed that up, ain't nothing you can do about that, right? Ain't nothing, now
go
you got to come up with some other kind of value you got. What value is it now? What can you do? Is it well, my value now is I will be super honest. You can trust me. I'm loyal. Maybe not sexually. You can't do something with me. Yeah, I done tried all kinds of sizes of penis and everything. I'm not virtuous and valuable there, but I could give you some other level of value.
I,
Maybe,
I,
maybe, maybe I'll be. You got some big dreams. I'll be just supporting your dreams. I'll be your companion or something.
So what are the things that men? So you got so many lessons for women. I need you to get some because I got some, but you give them some because you like you yourself got 325,000 miles. And some of those miles was in dishonest mileage. Nobody taking them rides. How are you gonna help these men who you said yourself don't have good role models?
Well, first of all, like certain things is interesting because like I say, you got to know the game and the rules in the game. You know what I mean? So like, say, I don't care what man in the world he is. If you want to be like, well, I want to feel how a baby feels growing myself, you'll never have that because you're a man. So get that out your head. You ain't getting it. So what I'm trying to say is, certain parts of this game you can't change because the
Okay,
man want to assess a woman on the by basically the measurement of her virtue,
okay.
right? So definitely, no matter how a person like it or not, her body count going to attribute to an assessment of
Going
her
back to
virtue.
women, you helping men now.
So what I'm trying to say is, in the sense of this with men, right? We can't change. So basically, and men having this conversation, and I say this: the man, if the man is completely responsible for picking the woman. So the man is supposed to choose in the traditional way things are supposed to do. A woman ain't never supposed to go get at a dude and book a dude and all this stuff. A dude's supposed to see what he want, you know, or visualize, see when not maybe by your eyes, but you conceptually know the type of model of woman that you want. And when that comes along, you get it, right?
And
But
do
if this does not work out, this is the man's fault. And the reason why it's the man's fault is because he chose bad. So
no.
there's something wrong with that woman.
This is
You
terrible.
made the bad choice on this thing, and now you
This
got to
is
live with
terrible
it. So
advice.
what I'm saying is now take your time to evaluate the chick on some kind of criteria where it actually matters. Like
What is the male responsibility? You keep making it the woman's responsibility to
I'm
calculate.
saying, this is the man's
The man's
responsibility is to
responsibility,
choose properly.
and it's also exactly what you said, which is to maintain your household, to be responsible to
100.
that woman, to be honest within the relationship, to ensure the things that you both have agreed on, or let's just say you stated you were going to do, that you do them. And when you don't do them, then you have dishonored and devalued yourself. Can we both agree on that?
Well, I would say this. Let's just say
Not agree.
I'm organizing a car show,
Oh
right?
Lord.
Right. I'm organizing the car show. Everybody bring the baddest joints out: Bentleys, Rolls Royce, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, everything. All I got is this raggedy,
Buick.
raggedy Ford Escort that got 300,000 miles on it. I can't bring that to this car show. And people may laugh at me, they're gonna make fun of me at the car show. So what I'm trying to say is this. Because truthfully, I think in both men and women, the person you pick to be in your life is such a big this choice. It's such a
Yes,
big choice. So
absolutely.
the man has to be accountable for the choice he makes. And to make this choice
More than
doesn't
just
mean
accountability with the choice. Come on now.
well,
Don't just
well
give
what
me
I'm trying to but I'm trying to say he got to met the way the criteria by which he chooses is really important because let's just say if a man just choose the first like basically like
the person
musical
that comes
chairs, you know what I'm saying? We just like in the concept of musical chairs is how men are choosing it now. It's like, all right, it's 10 men, it's 9 chairs. Play the music. Run around. Bam! One nigga's out. You know what I mean? Now, so we keep doing that. So the last man got the last chick and one man, So I'm trying to say that. What I'm
in.
trying to say, what I'm trying to say in this is instead of doing it like that by happenstance, pick by criteria. Like the woman is family oriented. She's patient. She's loving. She's kind. She's loyal. She's demonstrated these things. It's not that you fantasizing it about it and
And
you making it be this
what
way.
will you do once you
Well,
have picked?
now,
Promise what?
now I agree. Now I'm giving the
You
men the
struggle with this.
benefit of
You
I'm
just
giving the men
struggling.
the benefit of the doubt of saying that when we label somebody a man, you know what I'm saying? I'm in that room again where the men are talking about what is a man, and everybody gonna say, yeah, the man is the leader. He's head of household. He's a provider. He's a protector. Yeah, I'm giving the man the benefit of doubt that you were all of that. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Yeah,
Okay.
so you need to be all
Don't
that.
give me no
Now I
benefit
do
of
think
the
that,
doubt. This is
huh?
instructional. This is instructional.
Yeah,
Stop giving
yeah.
me the benefit of the doubt. You gave women a very specific instruction. I
No,
need
but
to
if we calling the dude a man, that's when you calling the man a man, that's what that means, that the man is doing it. Other than that, then he ain't a man, he a male. You know what I'm saying? He's a
got
male and he do but if he's a man, he's doing all this stuff. He's taking care of his household, he's doing all this. Now in an extra level of being a man, I think you have to be more connected with the woman that you build in a life with because she in true sense this woman is a partner in every damn way, you
mm-hmm.
know so she's going to be a partner in building your genetic legacy, and having family, right?
Right.
So she's going to be a partner in this, and that's very important. She's going to be a partner in your life in the peace and happiness and sanctity of your home. You know what
Yes.
I mean? She's going to be the center point of your family. You
Mm-hmm.
know, whatever you doing in business and all this stuff, she gonna represent you
Mm-hmm.
personally. Where she's walking around, she's a walking, living representative of you. Because another man can measure a man by his woman.
Yeah.
So right now, if I see a busted old woman, I'm like, well, whatever type man she got it. I don't respect that nigga. Straight off the great breakup, seeing her. You know what I'm saying? So I say, this really is a lifetime partnership. And even if it breaks up, it's a lifetime partnership. So I feel like because you might affect you in many ways if you got permanent connection like kids and stuff like that.
Right.
So
Right.
this is a very critical choice that a man need to make, and the man is accountable, responsible for this choice. If it don't work out, all that stuff is definitely the man's fault. Even if the woman's disloyal, all that's because he ain't choose right. Now,
Or he
now,
was not right himself. Because you are
well, yeah, but we all. I'm gonna be honest with the truth is, like I said before, we all ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So like a man picking
Lord. Why you
a
know
man picking a
it out?
man picking a woman and himself, he know I'm partially broken. She partially broken. But together we gonna do this thing right. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, this is the way we will push.
I want you to do,
Oh,
brother, is hold men as accountable as you hold women. And I hear
I do.
a lot of men have a
Hmm.
lot of expectations of women and not of themselves. And they do a lot of forgiving of themselves for lying, for falling short of what you described as being a man, not being the leader, not taking on the responsibility. So what I want you to do, because you already didn't compare my group chat to me. They're about to kill you. Listen. When they see you, don't you better get your bodyguards ready because they're not
Well,
they're not happy about now. They're not happy about being and then wait a minute, you ended the conversation about have you ever been to an auction and once
well, I'm speaking truth, right? Because and I realized they feeling it. That's why they try to jab below the belt. When you desperate and you ready to try to to end this fight, you want to try to dig somewhere where you know it's gonna really hurt. But I'm gonna just say this: that definitely I'm holding men accountable, right? Because
okay,
like right now, if you know, let's just say somebody kicked in the door, right, and the man was in the house. And when they kicked in the door, he ran out the back door. He ain't even warned nobody. He ain't even screamed, "Hey, they kicked the door in. I mean, let's get out of here." He ran out and saved himself, left all the women, children, and everybody in the house and did nothing at all to aid them. I don't think there's no man in the world that would respect that man.
never. Okay,
There's
good.
no man in the world. If there's, I feel like a man if the man want the benefits of being a man, he need to be all of the things that everybody believe that the
All
man
the
is supposed
assumptions.
to be.
Okay, well,
Yes,
we're gonna
yes.
push pinning at that, and
Hmm.
and agree that we're gonna leave your little size parts alone because, like you said, those are things you can't help. I'll take that back to the group chat and let those know who really was concerned about it. But to the point that was needed and how it ended in the group chat was women tolerate a lot of things for men because it's beyond this transactional experience. It's because they love that person and they think they're gaining other things, and those other things you described very nicely about what a man can bring. So when size is falling short, they can look to those other things like their leadership, their money, their network, their honesty. But when all of those other things are not doing well, then size really does matter. And yet, even still, there are many women who are sacrificing themselves in
I agree with that. I agree with
unfulfilled
that.
relationships for men that are not endowed. And
Well,
so,
look, can I ask you a question on this on
go
this topic? So
ahead.
you know how men do accept women who have BBLs, breast
Yeah.
lift, I
Hmm.
mean breast augmentation, facelift. Like men accept that from women, which for all intents and purposes is not them natural self, right? It's they made a women will laugh a man out sick if they found out he went and got himself endowed. They won't even respect that. You know what I'm saying? So that's another double
Have
standard
this
because
conversation in the group chat because I don't know if that's true because you know what that would show to me at least a
uh
dedication to our experience because
okay,
you recognize
okay.
that you are not in a pace that Johnny with the long schlong is. You know what I
So
mean?
so women would accept that then. They would be
I
like,
do.
you know what?
I
Okay,
think,
okay. All
I
right,
think
that's
and
that's
I,
that's
and I
big.
think
That's
women
big.
would be looking at that as a part of self care and saying
Okay, okay,
this person
okay.
cared enough about me to enhance the experience, right? So
Okay, okay.
so I think
So there's hope, man. There's hope. If
it's
you on the
oh,
other end of that spectrum, go ahead and
y'all
get
need to
yourself
stop
in down like Ocho Cinco.
exactly, exactly. And y'all need to stop. And look how many women Ocho Cinco probably push buttoned, when he was unhappy with his size. And
Yeah,
all those women going back to say, did you know Ocho had this little tiny penis? And what I had to pretend, so these things, the fact that he had that commitment, not only to himself, because it sounded like he had a commitment to himself, but to the experience that he's going to be sharing with other women is valuable. And I
I
think
feel that
that was the point that women want to make is that we are inside of a relationship, we're giving as much as we're taking, and we want you to
100%.
understand that. And so body counts in and of itself don't matter because inside of that romantic relationship with you, that is the primary focus. And then when those relationships end, what do you want women to do? Shroud themselves up and die? I mean, that's not realistic. We're not going to go
Now
back.
they need to go to the what they call them nuns. You know, they go to the convent. After that, I'm playing with you.
Y'all
No,
crazy.
I
You know,
think
that's why you
I
got
think
all
you're
these
right though.
different
Like in this thing is we want to be pleasing to each other as
we
males
want
and
to be
female,
pleasing
right?
to each
So
other.
yeah, that's the orientation everybody should be on. Is that let's please each other. But then yeah, got to come with mutual loyalty. Got to come with mutual respect, honesty, trust. You know, let's have some real foundation to build on, and
Yes. Yeah.
not this fake reality. But one thing I will say this, right? In the I guess the power of reality and honesty.
Hmm.
I would take a vehicle that had 300,000 miles on it with true Carfax on it
Okay.
that had the dedication and commitment to serve me. I would take it.
Okay.
If it say like, whatever you do, if you help fix me up, I'ma always be dedicated to making sure you get from point A to point B without fail. I would take it. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Well, let me tell
So
you this about the men. So thank you for the value thing. Thank you. I think everybody you've redeemed. I don't know. I got to check my group chat later on because my girls be watching this show. But I'm gonna tell you my final kind of parting gift as the size police. There are mechanisms that you can visit if there are difficulties in that area. I encourage you to go. Men, don't be afraid to go to your doctors. Have these conversations because women, as much as we are not saying anything to you, we are having these conversations quietly behind closed doors. And while we can be sacrificial, that's not fair. If you can It can be addressed. So size indeed does matter. Okay, don't lie to yourself and tell you it does not. And that if there are, and again, like my brother said, you cannot help it, right? Because you're born often with those things. Then you have to bring other virtues to the table so that that sacrifice in that size area makes it worth it.
but also like there's I guess the size criteria though is not a just the biggest matters because I know that there's sometimes that if you holding too much, that'll diminish your possibilities
This is
because
true. And
people
that's
ain't
why I
trying
said
to.
size. I don't, it's not just focusing on the small size. I'm saying
Yeah,
size does matter. Too
I
much
hear
or
that.
too little is not a value. So
Yeah,
you one, that's what I'm saying. Then you need to be exercising other aspects of your virtues and that sexual experience so that everyone is having a pleasurable moment. And know
100.
that women are sacrificing oftentimes and not sharing their experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And so there
Mm-hmm.
was some little bit low blows, I guess, in the group chat. And it's funny because what started it was because they're like, I feel little dick energy in these comments. So that's what started it. So this is our when we need to, y'all over there talking about body counts. You know where it hurts. Y'all be dropping y'all slongs like they the best in the world. You know what? There's some sacrifices being made on all parts. So
100.
I'm so
Definitely.
grateful for this experience. And next week, I hope that when we're doing, I think, are we gonna have a guest next week? We may.
Yeah, yeah. I think we should. We gonna we'll see.
We'll
We'll
see.
see. Yeah.
If not, I'm definitely gonna have a game. My mentor group starts again, and
Hmm.
I told you about that young man that always asks good questions.
Right. Right.
So you're my litmus test of those questions all the time because I do a terrible job guessing those kind of things. And it's like our little thing in fodder. I want to do one parting gift because I think everybody needs this. If you're in the DMV area or maybe just living in the world, so many of my friends, including me and my businesses, have been really um, devastated by the financial assault that has happened in the federal government. Many of our contracts, many of my friends are losing jobs, and we're seeing people lose their jobs not by based on qualifications, but based on the direction of this administration. And it's been painful. And I think I want to be the first to acknowledge that I'm sharing in that pain. And especially for people who I know personally, like myself, sacrificed to go to school, to raise a family, to build the skills so that we could support the community that we support. And we've done it graciously and effectively. So I am telling you, I'm your cheerleader, letting you know I see you. I know it's been painful. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know how we resolve this other than keep building your community, keep speaking out, keep fighting, keep doing the work that you're doing. And we might have to be thinking outside of these borders. I know a lot of my friends are talking about how they can parlay their skills in other countries. That may be what we have to do next, because this is an out and outright assault. Our contracts are getting paid 90 days behind. And let me shout to everybody who doesn't have a
Mm.
small business: 90 days, a small business cannot survive off of 90-day payments. That you can't pay you can't eat a cheeseburger and then go back to the establishment 90 days later and say, oh, yeah, here's your bill. And that's what they're basically asking small businesses to do. And small businesses run by Black people and Black women, and often have a harder time getting contracts and grants in the first place. So when we get those things, we need our money. So pay us what we're due. You keep accessing our services so you know we're doing a good job. Make sure you recognize that these are faces, people's lives that are being impacted. And you guys get to have a choice very soon. I hope you exercise those choices.
All right, very good, sister.
All
We
right,
can leave it at that.
Bobby,
All
yeah, we
right.
need that. And listen,
Yeah.
stay to get your security ready, because if you come visit me, some of them girls like
Hey, I always got the little entourage with me.
no, you got
I'm a male spirit that I'm carrying with me where they know. You know what I mean?
you
You
know,
know.
girls ain't gonna let that happen to her baby. All right, bye for now,
All
brother.
right then. Have a good one.